Hello, this is Fraud Detective, and I want to demonstrate just why the so-called reptilian pupil dilates and goes diagonal. And the reason for that is that there's almost nothing in their head, and they are puppets on a string, and they live in the torso, and they're operating their heads and their mouths and so forth on strings. Find that. This camera's really up there. Now, it's what happens if they make a movement inside their torso. They're going to create tension on this here, which is connected to their pupil on their eyeball. And it's what's going to happen when you pull on the string. Their eyeballs goes into the shitty, and they create this here, generally because they have to make a movement with inside their torso. You see this? Once the tension is released, then the pupil goes back. But if they're moving inside their torso and they're wearing an attack disguise, a hide, a skin, and there's another organism in it, an invasive species of some creature, and they have more lines connected to other parts of their anatomy. It's just like taking a look at a rut. They have strings coming out to operate other things, and they're very ingenious about that. And so, in fact, the eyeball does not see. I used to kill them, and their eyeball could be on the side of their shoulder. It could be on the side of their neck or their chest, or it could be transient and move from one place to the other. Now, I saw Pat Benatar, the Navy, put some gloves on her, and she went totally blind. And you would think that she was looking through her eyeballs, but once the gloves were on, she could not see, and she would bounce into walls and fall off a staircase, you know. And so you got to think, other than reptilian, there's diversities such as spiders, water spiders, ants. Yeah, now I've seen Benatar self-explode her chest 3 different times and spray green vomit on the faces and got in the eyeballs, and everyone said that she's a bug in there. And they look at her chest, and it's about the size of a football. And there's an ant that self-explodes and does that. But Geraldo, the Arizona, 2 herpetologists, said that the way that he moved this shoulder before attacking, that he was a certain specific lizard. So there is diversities, but there are strings attached to these things, and when I apply tension on them, or I mean, they're after several dozen different parts of their body, and they're watching by pulling strings to try to fake us that they're human, to genocide us. So that there is what's going on with the pupils flipping their shitties to make them go diagonal. They had to make a movement there that caused tension on them. So I suspect other diversities, and they're zoogissids. And a reptilian is just a zoogissid, to where they really could be inside. And this people here, they pull on a little bit of tension. They had to make movement inside their torso, and that tension made them do their reptilian shitty. So also, you might try balancing UV to a green lamp. That is the watt. What is that? The watt to wavelength, and the UV being a shorter wavelength. To use a higher wattage on that and try to balance them out, and they'll turn into colorful people. They'll turn into like red, blue, green, yellow, you name it, just every color of the spectrum, because it has unbalanced them. If UV doesn't work, use blue and balance it wavelength to a watt. That's really something interesting to see. Also, the same thing as they're doing their shape shifting, it's like